Welcome to Made in Yorkshire Television. I'm here today with Ian Brown of Teconnex. He is the Director of Technologies. Welcome, Ian. Tell us a bit more about Teconnex.
Well, Technics is a company I've worked at for 17 years. When I joined, it was 2 years old. And it's been a very quick, very fast 17 years. When I joined, it was just shy of £5 million turnover. And this year we expect to close just short of £46 million turnover.
So how have you managed to get to that point? How have you grown from the family-run business in Keighley to a world force?
Talking to the customer,
Okay.
picking on the customers who like clamps that work, going out, finding out what their problems are and solving them, the easy stuff.
So how important is innovation to Teconnex?
We put as much into innovation at the moment. We're not spending as much as is budgeted.
Okay.
And that's mainly just due to making sure we're doing it right the way we're going.
Perfect.
So we've plenty of things to pick up and run with, and it's making those things happen.
So where do you start with innovation and your new projects?
Well, as I say, customers is one place. So in terms of Technics, you can split innovation into two bits. And the first bit is our traditional hunting ground of clamps, and brought a few along that we can have a wave at if you like. So one of the things we've done recently is actually put ceramic on it, which stops the heat getting into the metal, which means you can go to a much higher temperature for the same strength. And that's just a piece of innovation. I will say straight away that is covered by a patent pending. Because that's something else we've brought to the group over time, is the IP protection.
Yes.
We do start to patent things rather than just make things. If we have an idea, we do try and, I'll say, write it down, talk to the patent people, see if there's something out there. In fact, the guys are getting quite good at searching patents themselves, and actually looking at what's out there that other people are doing, so that we're not stepping on other people's toes as well. And that's something you've got to be careful at, particularly when you get into the innovation field and you're stepping away from your day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So how important is it to have that IP on your products?
It's fantastic, and the government are making it better all the time. The first thing is you protect it from other people doing the same thing, just copying your design, because you can go and say stop.
Yep.
That's ours. But there's also a tax break for it now. Anything that you sell which has a patent on it, you can actually claim tax back on the value of your income from that. Which is great, because it makes investing in the patents aren't cheap. From start to finish, you're probably looking at about £20,000, and you need to recover that money. So you need to have a premium on the part that you're selling to start with, but if you're actually getting the tax back, that means you pay back shorter, or the premium can be slightly less. And again, the numbers of them it's important.
So obviously IP and patents are important for taking into consideration when looking at innovation. What else would you say is important for a business to look at?
Well, there's other bits of IP that you don't realise you've got.
Okay.
Which it's unprotected IP. So actually understanding how you make something is actually IP. You can't patent it, but you need to protect it. And somebody was saying to me the other day, well, we need to write it all down and put it somewhere. I says, that's great, but how are you going to protect it? But on the other hand, if you don't write it down and the people who understand that leave or get run over by a bus, then you've lost it.
So why do you think people are scared of innovation?
Well, a business case requires a market, it requires an investment cost that you might not know, it requires a time scale, which again, you might not know. It might take 3 years to make it work, it might take 6 months. And then, what about the returns? Well, the returns come from the sales. What kind of selling price have we got? Well, we don't know today, because we haven't developed the manufacturing technique yet. but we need some money to make some to find out how much it costs. And what I've got to say is Teconnex are in a great position because they can actually do that now and make a few and take them to customers and see how it goes. And we've got the test equipment that we can put these on and actually say, well, how does it compare? We might not have all the answers the customer wants, but we've got a sample, we've got a part, and we can do some testing.
Yeah, no.
So, risk.
Yeah. So what would be your piece of advice for anyone looking to innovate more in their company?
Take some risk. Don't just go with one thing. You've got to go with 5 or 10 things, and the majority of them aren't going to work. They ain't going to come off. The customer might not be interested in them, or they might just simply not work, or they're going to be too expensive. But you've got to keep doing it. You've got to keep going. If 1 in 10 comes off, the question is, how big is it? Some of them are going to be small, some of them are going to be really big.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, that's it. That's this week's episode of Made in Yorkshire Television. Thank you, Ian, for coming along and talking to us about innovation.